What's going on, guys? Welcome to College Mindset 101. Now today I'm going to tell you my story, right? My story is a story I don't usually share with the world. I usually only share with the people that I'm trying to help. Now you guys will have it in my front page on my website and be able to see how I went from a struggle to success, right? During my college career. Now, who am I? My name is Mark Marquette. I was born and raised in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Came to the U.S. when I was 13. Now, when I came to the United States, did half year in 8th grade, went to high school, did my 4 year in high school under a program called ESOL, English as a Student Learner. They helped me a lot. And I remember when I was in high school, they used to tell me if you work hard, they would get a scholarship. That's not always the case. I've learned that. I didn't get no scholarship. But I remember in high school, I've earned over 40 plus academic award and excellent for either history or ESOL or French or engineering or physical health. I was just working hard, and I was earning those awards, right? And I remember, and also in high school, I used to play 3 sports: soccer, wrestling, and tennis. I used to walk home in the rain, 4 miles home after a practice or a game, in the rain, snow, heat, you name it, right? Because my goal was to get a scholarship to go to college. By the time I graduated, figure out it's not always the case. Now, always wanted to go to a school called Wentworth Technology. I applied there, got accepted. Figured that I couldn't afford it, then I went to Mass, to a community college, right? And when I went to Mass, to a community college, I learned that that was the worst mistake I made, because when I went to Mass, I was paying out of pocket, not out of pocket, I was paying out of state tuition, which is twice, right? Twice the money. And that was a bad mistake. And I remember back then there, I was working $5 an hour to survive, and then figure out that, all right, that was not the best decision to stay in Mass at a community college. And so I left. So I did fall 2011 to spring 2012 in Mass. Then I left, came back to Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut. Came back to Connecticut to a school called Gateway for Railroad Technology. Now I did fall 2012 until fall 2013, right? And I remember my parents used to peer pressuring me, oh, you're in community college still, when are you going to graduate? You're supposed to go to a 4-year school, this and that. So I got peer pressured. I left the program. I only had 4 or 5 classes I needed to graduate from that program. And that program was well in demand. We had railroad technology, not railroad technology, we had Metro North, Amtrak, Long Island Railroad that was in demand. It was the job at that time, and it's still the job. They're always hiring. So, you know, I got peer pressured. I didn't realize what I was doing exactly. So I switched my major because I wanted to please my parents. Not my major, I switched school because I wanted to please my parents. So I switched to CCSU, right? Which is Central Connecticut State University. Now, when I transferred to a robotic major in spring 2014. I realized that robotic wasn't for me, not what I expected it. So I ended up switching to mechanical engineering technology in the fall 2014. Now, in the fall 2014, right, at the end of the fall 2014, I went to a career fair, and one of the company that was there was one of the company that I've always wanted to get into, Sikorsky. I went there 4 times when I was in high school. I fell in love with the helicopters, so I was like, I always wanted to work there. Now, I heard that in 2014, when I was there doing mechanical engineering technology, they were coming, so I went to that career fair, right? So what happened was, went up there well dressed. I was talking to the manager representing Sikorsky, right? And after our talk, he was like, you're a very well-knowledge guy. You know, I'm very interested in you. What's your resume? I gave him my resume. Then, as I was shaking his hand, he was like, what's your GPA? And I told him my GPA was a low 2.4. And then he looked at me in the eyes. He said, even if I wanted to hire you, HR wouldn't let me because they required a 3. Since then, my whole world just dropped down because, don't mind, you know, I was taking loans all the way. I was never eligible for any government grant or a scholarship, school scholarship, because my parents was making enough to support me. But you know, FAFSA, I don't understand. Your parents got different bills, you know, and all that. So I was taking loan all the way. And then once I got the rejection from Sikorsky, that's when my whole life changed. I remember in 2014 when I was doing mechanical engineering technology, there's this one class that I was taking called manufacturing process, also had SolidWorks into it, right? And I was so good in that class, that teacher, which was an advisor at another program, manufacturing engineering management, told me, Mark, you're so good at this program, why don't you just change to my department? And I told him, man, I'll think about it. After I went to that career fair and I got that rejection from the place that I've always wanted to work at, right? I didn't think twice. I was like, man, I'm taking all those loans and I don't even know what I'm going to do with my life and all that. The reality started flashing right in front of my eyes. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give him a try. So that same day, I went to the advisor for the manufacturing engineering management, and I told him, all right, I want to switch to your program because I'm looking for a better life and I'm tired of taking loans. He was like, Mark, I got you. So we went over the classes that I have to take. He gave me a brief description and I switched the next day, right? And then he told me there's one thing you would have to do for me, Mark. You would have to work less, because I used to work about 50 to 60 hours a week, try to maintain my loans and not, you know, paying a little bit out of pocket, right? And so he told me, Mark, you would have to work a little bit less. So I went from 40 to 50 to 60, depending on the season, to 30 hours a week. And he was like, I just want you to focus. So I did that, right? So I changed my major in manufacturing engineering management in the spring 2015, right? So it took me from spring 2015 all the way to spring 2014 to bring my GPA to a 4. I was taking 6 classes, working 30 hours a week, right? And I'm telling you, when I changed my major to manufacturing engineering management, I've never looked back. That advisor took me under his wing like I was his kid. He gave me my first job at the school as a 3D printer, not assistant, as a 3D printer technical assistant, but I was the only one that had the knowledge in 3D printing for that program, so I was running the program. And then he gave me another internship out of brass tubing that's been making brass tubing for sinks and toilet and bathroom for over 90 years, Kinney Manufacturing. I was a SolidWorks design for them, and I was a quality engineer for them also as an intern. And then that wasn't it, right? He gave me the opportunity to go study overseas for 10 days in Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Singapore. Best time of my life, right? But that wasn't it. As I was working hard, he was just helping me, right? And then the biggest opportunity he gave me was in spring 2016. He gave me an opportunity to intern at one of the world's largest jet engine company in the world, basically. I got in, boom. They were paying for my school. They were paying me to work over there. And then by the time I graduated, right? By the time I graduated, I got a full position with them as a quality engineer. Now, you know, the whole lesson is there, you know, whenever you have a failure, don't let it bring you down. Instead, you know, find ways to let it bring you up. Find strategies to beat that failure, because it's only a failure when you let it beat you. And thanks to that advisor, I was able to save me about $35,000, right? From 2015 all the way down to 2016. No, from 2015 all the way to 2016, I didn't take no loan. I was getting my school paid for, and then I had enough money to pay more at school, so I didn't have to worry about taking no loans. So thanks to that advisor, I was able to succeed, and thanks to my hard work and dedication, I was able, you know, to go to the next level. And this is what I want to bring to you guys, you know, to make sure that you succeed in your major and you take to little to no debt as possible, guys. And that's why I'm here for you. That's why I'm creating this program, so you can succeed in college. Now, this is my story, and I'll see you guys next time.